Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Monday. It's Mugshot Monday. It's Misdemeanor Malfeasance Meatloaf Monday. I've got Keisha here. We're going to talk about Life After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 18, Deleted but Not Forgotten. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Maybe we'll figure it out as we go, Keisha.
I mean, because I could delete any of those motherfuckers at any given time. Just delete, block. They're so deserving of it.
Guys, exciting news is that Keisha and I are going to be covering Prison Brides. That'll be out on Thursday on Pink Shade Prime. That'll be at the $10 family Pink Shade level. We just couldn't take it. We couldn't take all the chat about it and not get involved. Since we talk about prisoners, we had to jump in.
So I told James that we were going to be covering Prison Brides. He goes, "So are you just like the co-host for prison shows?" I said, "Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'll put that on my resume any day."
It's because we have such a familiarity with them.
We do.
That,
yes. Yeah. I was like, I like that. I like that. Talking
Tell
about James,
James,
especially with my rap sheet.
Right. Shut up. Tell James to recall that you did cover the family Chantel with me, and there's no prisoners there yet.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I just sniffed. I forgot to mute.
Okay.
Please forgive me. I've got it on mute. I apologize. I've got it on mute.
You're ready.
I had a really bad cold this week, but I am on the ready right now. So
I did tell my husband earlier, because we're recording a little bit later in the afternoon than we normally do. And I was like, oh, how am I going to not yawn my way through this? And now that I've said it, I'm going to start yawning. And he's like, get a Diet Coke, get some something. I go, no, because then I won't be able to sleep. If I drink any kind of caffeine in the afternoon, I cannot sleep at night at all.
You are like my mother. If she drinks, so it's sugar and caffeine. So it'll be like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. And she's like, I can't sleep. I had like a cup of coffee at 7:30 this morning. Yeah, no, she's early in the morning. Okay. And then it'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't sleep all last night because I had that little bite of that cake at 7 p.m. And she can't sleep the rest of the night. I'm just like, I wish my body was that sensitive to stuff like that. And it's not.
No,
I have to take a horse tranquilizer to even fall asleep. And I can fight through that if I really, really need to. So
no, but if I have caffeine in the afternoon, though, I really will have a hard time falling asleep. In the morning, I'm fine. I need it. Like I have to have it. Yeah. I have to have coffee within 5 minutes of waking. There needs to be a cup of coffee in my hand. Like brush the teeth, get the coffee, get going.
I'll wake up and can't sleep and make a cup of coffee to help me fall asleep.
Well, that's just weird.
James is like, he's like, I've never seen, my aunt is the same way. I'm like, it's something comforting about it to me. Yeah. So it just relaxes me a little bit. I don't. And for all you guys to talk about Mary Payne's yawning, imagine me. I'm looking at her. So I'm like, bitch, am I boring you? Am I not entertaining you enough?
It's so bad. You? I know. It's so bad. It's not the subject of who I'm talking to. It's just my body's natural response to, I don't know, not getting enough sleep. I will tell you that I had one of the children in my house was out very late last night, and
I guess I could bet which one it was.
And I was like, I'm trying to go to sleep, and 3 of the 4 people are in this home that should be here,
right?
And so I woke up at like 2 o'clock. This person wasn't home yet, and I was like, let me tell you something, person, get your ass back in this house. I don't. Somebody's work.
You don't do just a hey, text me when you get in the house?
No, because what it is I want whoever's the last person in needs to make sure they, lock the front door and turn on the alarm. So I'm always like, don't forget. Not that they would forget, but you never know. And so at like 1:30, Dave woke up. My husband woke up with like a coughing fit. It was one of those things where you're like, what the hell? So that woke me up. And then I realized that the alarm had not been turned on, which means that person wasn't home.
Okay.
So I was like, Anyway, so that person learned their lesson when they had to go to work today and hadn't gotten home till 3 a.m. So yeah, that's a life lesson right there.
But you can do that when you're young.
I know. When you're young, you just roll with it. You just roll with it.
Yeah. And you look good or you feel good the next day. You just, and then you come home and crash a little bit. Us oldies can't do that. No.
Nope, that'd be a 3-day nap for me.
Yes.
All right, well, let's get talking about these inmates. Season 5, episode 18, deleted but not forgotten. I guess as we go, Keisha, we'll figure out what that means. But maybe it's Tayler and Chance. I don't know what it.
Because those were the only phone messages that it has to be related to them.
Yeah. I will say I got a little scoop this week regarding Lindsey and Blaine, and that they are definitely broken up.
Okay.
But I don't know the reason. And he has said like he's glad to be like done with the show and he never wanted to do it and all that. So we don't know the story. We don't know why. Maybe we're going to find out, but that they are in fact broken up. I got to tell you, Lindsey is like a social media. I mean, she's just a genius in general, but she's a social media genius. She's out there posting all this great stuff from the episode and everything, knowing that they're fully like broken up now. Yeah.
I mean, you still got to keep that interest in you going. You know, this is what she's got. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and people like me will fall for it. Oh, they're still together. Great. Look. Oh, wow. She reposted that scene. Things are going great in their lives. You know, I wonder will I get an invite to the wedding? And yeah.
They're not getting married. Okay. So let's start with Shavel and Quaylon. Now, Keisha, I'm going to need your gavel because I think wig court is in session.
Look. I was on my way to Sally's today to go buy her a bottle of bio silk because that wig, first of all, it's a bad wig. It was on wrong and it was just like stiff as she kept pushing it back. I'm like, you need a pick comb. You need to be picking through those curls. What is going on with the hair?
It just wasn't sitting on her forehead correctly.
No, and it was stiff in the back. It was there was a lot going, but she always has on a bad wig. This was just worse.
Yeah, I guess maybe not always, but this when we first started, when she sat down to talk with Maila, I was like, Yeah. But I did send you a picture of that Maila. She's so dang cute.
She's cute. And smart. Smarter than her mom, at least. Yeah.
And what do we think? She's like 10, 11, 12? Did they say?
I think she's around 10.
Yeah. Gosh, she's cute. So she sits with Maila to talk about the upcoming wedding with Quaylon. And Maila goes, I'll pay $20 to not have to go.
And we pay $20 just to be able to look at in the window while it's going on. Here's my $20. Poor thing.
So Shavel laughs. It's like, now come on now. And Shavel goes, I know why. It's because you said you don't want me to kiss Quaylon. And she laughs and goes, is that why? And she does this whole thing. And she's like, yeah, y'all got to hug from the side and do like the dap up and back and forth and all that. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think about Maila dipping her rice cake in her apple juice?
I mean, anytime a child has to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with their mom about the man that they're marrying and how much they can't stand him, you gotta dip your Rice Crisp in a little bit of juice. I mean, come on.
It's like gross. They kept showing it. I was like,
they did.
They kept showing it. I was like, oh, we get it. It's gross.
Yes.
They talk about, Quaylon being a stepdad. And then Maila says, this was so sad. She said, but what if you die? And she goes, what do you mean? Like, who would be your mom? And she goes, yeah, what if you drank something? Or what if you fell? And what if you never woke up? Who would be my mom? And I just wrote, I can't take this. She's so cute. This is so heartbreaking. Bad. It's really bad. But
I'm surprised she didn't say, what if you took something that was in Quaylon's bag and died? Because Lord knows he had a lot of stuff in there.
That's true. Yeah. And she says, Shavel does say like, oh, well, what about Quaylon? She's like, no, thanks. And of course, I think obviously her mother would take care of her daughter, but Shavel's realizing, she says, maybe Maila really isn't adjusting like I thought she was. And she's being really protective of me. And I really need to think about this a little further. And then she goes, but you call Quaylon dad and stuff. And Maila goes, I don't think I'm going to call him that anymore.
What happened? Because she used to adore Quaylon. Like they had a really, really good relationship and she was comfortable calling him dad. But then again, we don't know if Shavel, and she totally seems like the type who would tell her kid, call him dad. Why don't you call him dad when you see him? Call him dad.
We see it on every show.
This kid is not feeling this dude not as a stepdad or even in the picture at this point. So she's observing a lot while her mom is walking around like Stevie Wonder. She ain't seeing shit. Just saying.
Oh, God. So Shavel says, maybe she didn't think, through this adoption thing enough. And, maybe she should rethink it. But she does worry that if she doesn't go through with it, how will Quaylon react? Well, fuck him. Who cares? It's not his kid.
Yeah.
Who cares?
This has nothing to do. Once again, like I keep saying it, I don't get why these moms have this need. I don't know if it's that fear of having to say, oh, I'm the baby mama, I'm a single mom. They don't want that. So they want these men to be dads. Like, here you go, call him dad. Now adopt my kid. You haven't even gotten married and you're talking about an adoption? Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fix your life and fix your wig.
Yeah. Oh, so now the next scene with these two is Quaylon and Shavel are making food in the kitchen. Maila's not there. So she's talking to Quaylon and she's like, I'm having second thoughts about calling Maila's dad to talk to him about this adoption thing. I think it's too fast. It's too soon. And I think we're just rushing it. And I don't think I'm going to call him about it. And Quaylon goes, no, it is time to talk to him. Like, it's basically like, if you don't call him, I'm going to call him. And she's like, you don't have his number. And he says, we have to have his consent for us to even try this. We haven't even tried. We haven't even talked to him. And then Shavel tells us the real reason is because she doesn't want to hurt Quaylon's feelings to say Maila's having these strong opinions because that's going to hurt his feelings. Well,
I think she should have hurt his feelings and told him the truth.
I think so too. Like, we have to think about Maila's actually the person here we need to be thinking about the most. And she's having second thoughts. So we need to pump the brakes until she feels comfortable. She's already going to have to be forced to be a flower girl in a wedding she doesn't even want to attend.
No, hopefully they give her like some juice and some chips so she can dip them in while she's standing up there waiting, and give her a blindfold so she doesn't have to see them kiss. The girl has demands and we need to start listening. What I didn't like was the way that he kind of like was charging towards her a little bit to get kind of close to her face. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I think she could take him down, number one.
In a second. Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty tiny, but no, I did not notice that. But if I would have noticed it, I don't ever like that, of course.
No.
So they're continuing to talk, and she says, I don't know. I mean, I'm allowed to have a change of heart. And he goes, don't you worry. I'll holler at him. Don't you worry about it. You just worry about the wedding, and I'll worry about the adoption. And then, of course, it's like, there might not be a wedding, all that.
Yeah.
And she goes, you don't even know him. You don't know how to get in touch with him. You barely even know his name. He goes, I'm going to try to get to know him. You're being hostile. This is a situation with our child, and that man is not there. Well, it's not. Listen, Let's remember that they were together for years when Quaylon was in prison. And then he got out and he went on the Keisha plan and he started banging his way around St. Louis or wherever they were. And then now they're in Texas and they got back together and she moved there. So he's not been like a stellar post-prison boyfriend. So she has reason.
How are you going to adopt a child and you don't know the kid's dad's real name? Why does he not know this man's name?
She's like, you don't even know him. Like, you don't know how to get in touch with him. I mean, yeah. And then, Shavel says, look, it's between me and him. It's not, it's not between you. And that's the truest thing she's ever said. She's like, it's not about you. And if I don't want to call him about it, I'm not going to call him about it. I'm going to give it some time. Yeah. And Quaylon says, it is between the three of us because I'm in the equation now. And then they fight some more and he slams the door. Because he realized he shouldn't try to step to her because she'll take him down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, remember those shoulders? Those shoulders kind of broad. You might want to watch out right there. But, none of that aged very well considering what we discussed last week on the podcast. And
I know.
Mm-hmm. I know. So I think some things were going on in that house.
Yeah, and she was privy to it. Listen, she don't want to see them kiss. She's probably had to hear them fight and kiss and everything else.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Even though I stand by the fact that it's an Airbnb.
You do.
So let's go to Mike and Justine. All right. Listen, I'm so obsessed now with looking at Mike's nose ever since you told me about how he has that good nose. And then I started looking at Jason Bateman's got that same nose. It's a good nose.
He does?
He does. It's got like a dent in the end of it.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, now, ever since you pointed that out to me about like having the dent at the end of the nose, now I'm like, that is a good nose.
I don't know how you just never noticed that.
Just never took note of noses before, but
really?
Just like unless it was like a really big nose, and then I would take note of it. Yeah.
I take note of everyone's nose. How do you not?
I don't know. It's just probably you haven't studied people's teeth as extensively as I have. Everybody's got their teeth.
No, yes, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right.
Okay. So Mike's mom, Maria, has made a big Dominican American breakfast, she says. There's pancakes, there's all sorts of stuff. And they've got to tell everybody their big news because it's their last day in Rhode Island where they have got 46 people in a kitchen that's meant for two. I've never seen so many people crammed in the kitchen in all my days.
I don't know. I was just like waiting for them to pass me a plate because everything was great.
I know. They kept showing those pancakes. I was like, how did she get them so fluffy?
I know, right?
Fluffy.
Yeah.
Big thing of eggs, mofongo. So Justine's worried. She's worried about telling them that they're going to be moving to Vegas because she's worried that she'll get blamed for the move. Her mom, Sherry, is also there. And Mike tells them, listen, we have an announcement. And they're like, oh, no, like you already got pregnant. You already got married.
Right.
Ha, 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 ha.
You've already been to prison. What else is there?
What else could you possibly do to us to make us disappointed? And he says, me and the family are moving to Las Vegas. And he has this huge smile on his face.
Yeah.
And 45 people in the room lose their minds.
They did. Rightfully so.
Every person in the room starts falling on the floor and crying. Like, it is insane. It's insane.
Yeah, that was a dark scene.
It was dark. It was sad.
It was sad. It was sad. Very sad. Yeah.
So Justine goes, yeah, go ahead.
And just not a good idea in general for them to be moving to Las Vegas. No.
So Justine goes, this can be like a super positive thing for his music career, and I hope all of you will support our decision. And then Mason, the sweet little boy, goes, can we come with you? And Mike's like, yeah, in a perfect world, yes, but I got to talk to your mom. And then Nova, the other 6-year-old, she starts crying. And then Mike starts crying. And then Maria, his mom, starts crying. And then his sister Ann is crying. And then Ann's wife is crying.
Yep.
And Ann goes, Mike, you just got back. And now you're moving away from your kids. This is just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I was like, Ann has been there. Crying? Who?
None of Justine's kids, because they're all going.
Great point.
Yeah, I was just like, this is show. And I had an issue whenever Mike said, in a perfect world, yes. What the 6-year-old, all they heard was you say yes. They don't know what in a perfect world, yes. I was like, can someone please explain to this kid that no, he's not going to Vegas with them? It was just, they have a horrible way of presenting things, from the pregnancy announcement, just everything they do, just they don't really sit and think about it, or they don't think about it from the perspective of anyone else, especially their kids.
Yeah, it's all about the show of it. Like,
yeah.
So Mike says to all of them, he's like, this is super hard for us. It's super hard for us. And Maria and Sherry and Ann are all like, yeah, it's hard for us too. And the kids, like, you're moving away. Yeah. And Ann says, you need to think about what is best for these kids emotionally, because it's going to be hard on all of them. Have you talked to their moms? Because we've got 2 different moms here. He goes, no, I haven't. And she goes, so you just made the decision. You just made this decision without consulting the moms.
Yeah, it's bad.
So we remember that we've got Melody, Michael Jr., and either Nova or Mason or one mom, and then either Nova or Mason, we're not sure which, is with the other mom. Right. So they have to talk about custody schedules and stuff. I mean, I guess he can't decide to move.
I mean, he can, but do they even have a custody agreement? I mean, he just got out of prison.
True. Yeah.
So there may not even be one in place.
Right. Yeah.
Which also means that he's probably not paying child support either. Well, not court-ordered child support.
That's a pretty good guess. So Sherry, Justine's mom, asked Melody, Michael's oldest, how do you feel? And would you be interested in moving to Las Vegas? And Melody shakes her head because remember, Michael Jr. has already gone with Michael. And Melody
Yes.
says, I can't see just leaving Mason and Nova in Rhode Island.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they've got two different moms, so they're probably already they're the exact same age. They're not, I mean, you can't imagine those two kids are really going through it.
Yeah.
And Melody's crying. She's like, I'm so torn. I don't know what to do. And then Mike says, here's our plan. We're going to fly to see the kids once a month, and then the kids will fly to see me once a month.
See, this is where me as a parole officer has questions. Where are you getting the money to do this? No one can afford to do that.
That's so expensive. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And also, why Las Vegas? Why not something like New York, which would be closer to Rhode Island, so we could see the kids more? That was like between Pennsylvania. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be Las Vegas? Why does it got to be all the way on the West Coast?
Well, remember his producer, Mocha Latte or Cappuccino, whatever the hell his name was. He was there with his studio, but we don't know what happened to him after he killed that guy. So is he even still a producer manager? But here's the thing, Mary Payne. I'm not moving one town over for my husband's rap career. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. Okay, so they moved there in June. Let's say July.
Okay.
Let's even say August. What have we heard of his rap career? All we know him from is being on this show. That's it.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
But we do know that Kylie is still in Vegas. And I really, truly feel like if Kylie were not going to the University of Las Vegas, Justine would not want to move there.
Yeah. What if she wanted to go to University of Rhode Island? I mean, you know what I mean? Would it be a whole different story? Would it be a whole different story?
I wonder.
I just don't understand why they've got to get all the way that far away. Because when like New York, I'm just trying to think of like big cities, Atlanta, big cities where you could have a rap career. There's so many other cities. Why does it have to be Vegas? I don't even think about Vegas as being like a place where you go to start a music career of any kind.
No, I mean, you go there if you want to be a showgirl. You know, you go there for that. But I mean, I've listened to some of his music and trust me, DJ Khaled, Diddy, Timbaland, none of them are knocking down Michael's door to sign him. They're just not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I know you want his autograph, but you
know. I'm all right. So I've turned on him a little bit with this.
You sure have. You have
just
a lot.
Just a little. So everybody's crying. Everybody's throwing themselves all over the floor and crying. And Mason's like, yeah, I really want them to stay in Rhode Island. And Nova's like, I really want them to stay and not leave. And then Anne and Melody are crying and hugging. And Mike says, listen, I have to do this. Like, I have to do this. It's going to make sense to everybody later. I have to do this. And so that's the big news. So we got to get on the road. So they take her kids and one of his kids and hit the road back to Pennsylvania.
I don't know if you ever noticed, but Justine has a way of saying like the stupidest thing at the most wrong time. So they're walking out. All these children have been crying. The family's been crying. The two little twin babies, Irish twin babies, are looking out the window. And she grabs Mike's hand. It's like, that was a pretty good trip, though. To who?
She goes, I mean, at least we're taking some of our kids with us. I
was just like, I cannot with her at all, not one bit. And so I was telling you before the show, someone like found out just a little bit of information that, you know, they did buy a house in Vegas in June and it was around $485,000. But the only two names on the deed are Justine and Sherry, her mom. So her mom knew during that scene, she'd already known about Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
She signed to sign all the paperwork. She probably has been to Vegas to see the house. And if I had to put money on it, she moved to Vegas with them.
Yeah, they're going to need a babysitter for all those kids.
They are.
They're going to need somebody to just arrange their flights because they're going to be flying every other week.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Watch that not happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So now they're back in Pennsylvania and they're packing up. And Justine's like, gosh darn, I hate packing. It just seems really fake. And she says that they closed on a house in Las Vegas and they're moving in a week. They're flying out there and having their stuff shipped. And Mike is upstairs packing and he gets a call from his PO. Now, he explains to us that He has a parole officer that is for the state and probation officer that is federal. And he has to get both of them, both POs, to agree for him to be able to transfer to Nevada. So
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of having both.
I think because he was in trouble across many state lines. I think he was in such bad trouble with his business that he had. Okay. Distributing and creating narcotics. So he says everything's been approved in Pennsylvania. They're just waiting to hear from Nevada. And I say in this scene, does Mike look like his hair has turned gray at the temples?
Wouldn't yours?
I mean, he is what? Let me look. He's 30. He's 36. He really looked gray in the temples when they showed him with his hair pulled back.
I can't even imagine the amount of stress that he's under. Having to deal with Justine every day, one reason. Then all those fucking kids, that's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. And then we don't know how these two make money.
No, since she quit her job, no, we don't know.
Right. We have no idea. So I imagine and plus they're moving and, moving across the country. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he's pretty damn stressed out. And we know his shoes aren't selling. So, I don't know.
We haven't seen any boxes of shoes. Normally they got them lined up on the walls at that place.
Nope. Haven't heard anything about it.
So Justine says, we really can't get a fresh start until we get out of Pennsylvania. Like, Pennsylvania has really weighed us down and it's going to be great to move. So Mike gets in the car and he's like, he's all upset. And he says they weren't able to expedite the transfer from Pennsylvania to Nevada because there was one paper that was supposed to be signed, but we never got it. Nevada sent the paper. I never got it. He said, with everything going on in the house, there's 1,000 kids in there. My wife is pregnant and we're packing. Somebody could have grabbed the mail and thrown it somewhere, which happens to us all the time in this house for real. And we've only got 4 people.
Right.
And he says, I was unsure about the transfer, but I wasn't completely honest about it, saying that I wasn't completely sure. Like, I just acted like it was a sure thing. But now it could take 30 to 90 days. And it's a reality check. Like, we can't move.
They can't afford it.
No. And he says it's hard to process. He has no idea how he's going to tell her. It's a financial stress. He says the move alone is costing him $10,000. And now they have a mortgage on this new home that Sherry's paying for, apparently.
That's right.
And rent on their current home. And what I say to that is, if you've told your landlord you're moving in 1 week, you don't have rent on that home. You got no home. Yep. You're homeless. You are unhoused is what you are.
Oh, that's scary.
It is kind of scary. It is scary.
And that scene felt real when he was banging on the wheel. Yeah,
it did. The only reason I would say it didn't feel real is because she was sort of saying like exactly the opposite of what he's saying. Like, can't wait to move and I can't wait to get out of, it was like they kind of set her up. Maybe they set her up to say that stuff. But he did seem to be really upset.
He did.
Not as upset as he was when he was crying in the kitchen when he told all his kids he was leaving them again. Not that upset.
Yeah. This is a messed up situation. But I still feel like they're going to say, surprise, we're all living together.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out at the last minute. So he pulls over and FaceTimes Justine. Is like, oh, how'd it go? He's like, it went really great, babe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, yeah, the packing and the moving and the baby stuff. Like, we got to get to Vegas so I could get set up to have the baby. It's really stressing me out. I'm so glad your meeting went well. And he's like, bye-bye. See you when I get home. And then that's the part that seemed a little fake.
And she's still got to find like a doctor when she gets out there because she's having a C-section.
Yeah. And to me, that all seems a little irresponsible. Just have the baby in Pennsylvania and move 3 weeks later.
Look what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, you're right.
Yeah. You're right. There's their brand right there. Being unresponsible right there. That's what they do. Yeah.
And she's got, the one kid's got special needs. It just seems like.
That's right.
You might want to get all that set up like way in advance before you move there and then throw your life into disarray with kids running around, one special needs, brand new baby, not to mention the one that's in college. And then you've got to fly those other kids in on that airplane that you apparently own every 2 weeks.
Twice a month. They go there and then they come. I'm like, that is such total bullshit.
You're going to put 2 6-year-olds on an airplane going completely across the country once a month? No, you're not. No, sir.
I wouldn't let my 6-year-old get on an airplane to go visit a dad that they've only known less than a year.
Right. Because
in real life.
Yeah, because he went to prison right after they were born.
Yeah. Wow. No mom is going to, well, I don't know. I don't know how his baby mamas are, but I wouldn't do it.
All right, let's go to Melissa and Louie. Now, there was a lot of continuity issues here between these two, and I was annoyed. I'm annoyed by the fakeness because I do think they are just happy and everything's fine. And I think they're faking all this.
I think so. But they seem to be fine now. But, I mean, a few months ago, they could not have been. I'm just saying.
Did you see her New Year's pictures with her new nose?
So I posted that picture on the Libra Lounge Instagram page, stories. Yeah. And I did not notice a change at all until people started DMing me like, oh my gosh, that's such a bad nose job. Oh my God, that's not 12. What was the number that the doctor gave her? You're going to have a 12 nose. And I was like, 12, what are you talking about? I'm like, I didn't notice a difference. Then you text me. I'm like, Mary Payne, honestly, I can't even tell. It still looked kind of big.
Well, but the pictures that she was doing was a selfie, right? So that's almost like up the nose anyway. So she didn't do any pictures straight on. It was harder to tell. But definitely it is the same nose job that Rachel Fuda and Jen Aiden from Real Housewives of New Jersey have, where they get it at the end, they get it turned up a little. Like Naomi on Southern Charm did the same thing. It's like they get a new nose and they want it to be like a little like Betty Boop,
Whoville.
Cindy Lou Whoville nose turned up at the tip. And that's not going to age well, you know?
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to sound mean or not, but to me, with Melissa having such a strong nose, why would she want the tip to go up?
It just seems like she'd want to keep the exact same nose, just make it a little smaller, because she has such like strong Italian genes.
She does.
She don't want to make herself look totally different.
That's crazy to me. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so we'll see. Like, we'll just have to wait and see on the show, like what it looks like and if these were weird pictures but I mean, yeah, she didn't get her $11,000 worth. She
may have gotten like $3,000 worth.
But maybe that's exactly what she wanted. Maybe that's exactly what she asked for, you know?
Okay.
Okay.
If she likes it, I love it.
So Louie is heading to a job interview at a gym. And I said, does he have any formal training to be a trainer? Does he have a certification?
No, because we've heard no mention of that at all. And you do have to be certified.
Yeah, you can't just go work in a gym as a trainer if you're not. You can't just be like, hey, I like to work out and I know a thing or two. Let me show you how to use this elliptical. You got to be certified. Or else like maybe he wants to work in the gym to work up to getting certified. Maybe like this is his plan, but we haven't heard this. It's just like, yeah, you know, when I was in prison, I helped people with their workout plan so I could be a trainer. No, I think it's a little more complicated than that, you know?
I think so too. And I don't think you could put that on your resume either.
No. You guys know I love high-end luxury goods as much as the next person, but unfortunately, my wallet isn't always on the same page. That was until I found Quince. Quince is my go-to place for luxury essentials at prices that are within reach. I've told you guys about Quince, and I'm going to keep telling you about Quince. They create the timeless classics that never go out of style. You can create a capsule wardrobe in your closet, right, where you just have the basics that always look good because they're always timeless. Don't you have somebody whose style that you look at them and you go, every time they always look on point? It's because they have these capsule wardrobes with these pieces that just go with everything. And the best part about Quince is all the items are priced 50 to 80% below similar brands. I've told you, when you go on there and you look at the Mongolian cashmere sweater or you look at a leather handbag, look at the little chart that they have that tells you the exact same item sold elsewhere and the price difference. It'll blow your mind. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. And of course, I love that. Let me tell you what, if I wouldn't have had those Quince socks on my trip to Europe, and I'm not even kidding you, they are the best socks I've ever owned in my life. I also took 2 Mongolian cashmere sweaters with me. They were so cute and so versatile. One had a hood and one was more like a cardigan. I also took a pair of black ponte pants. I think that's how you say it. These just really nice black pants. And I wore them in 12 days. I think I wore them 6 or 7 times because they look perfect with no matter what you put them on with. And I got a little pair of black flat tennis shoes that also did the trick. I looked great. I looked like maybe I belonged in Paris or London and not like a tourist. Anyway, you guys have got to check out Quince, and then I want you to let me know what you got. I love when people send me the pictures of what they got, like especially if they're your kids or if you got a cute handbag, just let me know. So get affordable luxury with Quince. Go to quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/pinkshade to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. So Louie meets with a guy named Bob at this gym, and he fills out an application, and he says he has a little experience training people, but not professional. And Bob goes, well, let me see your ID. I'm going to run this background check. And Louie goes, I'll be honest with you. I've got a past. I served 10 years in prison for armed robbery. And Bob goes, you know what? I don't know anything about you, but if I had to assume it because of those fake chompers you got, I got to assume it was drugs. Yeah. And Louie goes, yep, you hit it right on the nail. I was like, oh, you almost had it, Louie. Almost had it. He said, you hit it right on the nail.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And Louie says, well, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly was your drug problem? He goes, well, I started with pills, and then, as it goes with most people, then you can't afford that anymore. You can't get them anymore. So then you go to heroin. But he's 6 years sober, and which is wonderful. And he really wants to help people. He really wants to help people, and he thinks he can help them by, helping them do planks. I don't know. So, Bob says, Louie does seem trustworthy, but I don't trust the drugs. I don't trust heroin. Yeah. And, people that have been involved in it can be clean for 10 years and then go back to it. And you got to make sure you stay away from those bad people and stuff. I mean, if we really would have been getting the truth of the scene, Louie would have said, I haven't lived here in 15 years. I got in trouble in Georgia. Right. He would have explained, any of those people I hung out with from high school, I
was waiting for him to say, well, I did move away from that lifestyle or whatever, because he said it was really bad when he went to Florida for college. Mm-hmm. That's when it got really, really bad. But I got in trouble in Georgia. And at one point he said something about being like a counselor or something like that for addicts. I think he would be great at that.
I think he would be good at that too.
Trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you really feel,
I don't know about this.
So Bob says, well, I have a concern about you, even though you seem super motivated. We have to build up trust. And they both agree it would take some time to build up the trust. And he doesn't say no. He just says, look, let me think about this. I'm going to get back to you and we'll stay in touch. And okay. Now,
I thought he said no when he goes, I don't know what I have open right now. If I have any openings right now, I thought that was a no.
No, because I watched it the second time and he didn't say no at all. He was just like, let me think about this and let me get back to you. Will I get my gym on TV? If so, then the answer is yes. Then because he was like, well, even if you ever want to come work out, I have a great gym right here.
Right.
So now Louie's driving in the car. He's driving home in the rain. And the reason I make note is he's driving in the rain is because when he got home and he's inside talking to Melissa, it was raining outside the window. And I was like, okay, that's 1 point for the WeTV team for continuity. Because usually it would be like snowing outside. It would be like completely different weather. But it was, in fact, raining. And that's why they had the party inside the house. So
look at you being a little bit of a believer.
Just slightly. So in the car, Louie says, I take full responsibility for my actions and how I ended up in prison, and it's made me a better man today. And it does suck that it's going to hinder me moving forward, but I know that I caused these problems and I'm the one that's going to have to, prove. And this is how he's like a person really in recovery. He really is like, he takes accountability. He's trying to, show through his actions he can be trusted. So Melissa is now making some kind of something, but she has turned into a real pain in the ass nag.
Well, also, does she not know how to do anything by hand? Like, wow, you could even cut up some slices of lemon to put in the lemonade juice packs from Walmart that you threw in this nice thing. And I don't know, because you now have done a charcuterie board instead of like the Sam's bought sandwiches, which they looked really good, but she does nothing. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm horrible. Homely like.
No.
She don't even fake it.
No, she doesn't. She does a lot of store-bought food. And I'm going to tell you what, Donna can't cook worth shit, but she don't like that. Yeah, Donna doesn't like that. Even though Donna doesn't cook well, but she does cook. Yeah.
She does cook every day. 5 o'clock, dinner's on the table.
That's right. It's Miller Lite time.
Yes.
So he comes in and she's like, how was it? I'm trying to get ready for this party. Like, I'm so stressed. And he goes, yeah, it went really well. The gym owner, he obviously doesn't trust the drug situation or whatever. She goes, great. It was just a whole waste of time. He's like,
she's so mean.
She's so mean.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. So he helps her get stuff ready for the party. And he looks like he's working more in the kitchen than she is. He looks like he's trying to help out.
Not a surprise.
And she's like, I'm just so stressed out, with everybody coming over. So everybody comes in. So Allie, Rastafarian sister, comes in with her kids, that baby with the big bow on his head.
Yes.
And her husband, Mike. Now, Mike, we love. Mike gives Melissa a hard He's giving Melissa a hard time. He's like, why are you being such a bitch about these job interviews? He's been here for 2 days.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Allie's like, he should have had it set up before. And Mike's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
She's worse than Melissa. She's just mean, period.
I didn't get any of this. So then Donna comes in. He's like, whoa, this is Donna. And she's like, hi, I bought you a housewarming present. And then they all stand around and stare at her. And they're like, what are we talking about? It was just also like the production is like, okay, now you come in and say you brought a housewarming present. And then everybody say, how do you feel about Louie? It just was so awkward. The whole thing was so awkward.
It was awkward because no one said, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Melissa's sister, so-and-so. It was none of that. It was not welcoming. I would have left and taken my child with me.
It was weird. So we've got Allie, the Rastafarian sister, and the other sister's name I can't remember. So I'm just going to refer to her as other sister.
Sherry.
Oh, you're right, Sherry.
Yeah.
So other sister Sherry is also being kind of bitchy. And then Sherry and Donna with her Miller Lite koozie go into a very messy bedroom to talk. I'm like, could you have even just like made the bed up? I mean,
was there ice in that red wine glass that mean ass Sherry was holding?
Oh, probably.
Like ice. Yeah.
I think I like ice in my Chardonnay. I'll say it.
Okay, so as a person who drinks Moscato,
yeah,
basically Sprite with a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of juice mixed in it. That's what Moscato is. I really don't know, but I was always told you're not supposed to put ice in red wine.
Oh, you're not supposed to put ice in wine at all, red or white. But I put it in white wine because I really like it to be cold. But I do understand that sometimes people will put like one ice cube in a red wine because it's supposed to be a little, not quite room temp. It's supposed to be a little cooler, but not like cold.
Okay.
So listen, I'm trying to give Sherry way more credit than she deserves. Way more.
No, she deserves no credit at all. She's mean. Someone called them the Walmart Kardashians, and I have to kind of agree. Yeah,
I have to agree. Yeah, I agree. So they're in this messy bedroom talking, Sherry and Donna, and Donna tells Sherry. She tells Sherry. She says, I had no idea Louie was even using until one day he had a seizure. And I called 911. I didn't know. I had never had any idea. And then Sherry cries and tells her about her ex and was like, it went the worst way you could want it to go. Like, he died. Right. And Donna says, he called me from prison 6 years ago and he got clean in prison. And he called me to come there. He cried and said today was the day and he wanted to get clean. And now he tells me like his drug of choice is Melissa. And
we all know.
We know. But Sherry is being very understanding and they seem to be having such a really nice, open, nice conversation. And then Sherry's like, I could never trust an addict, so I'm really sorry. Right. But, I'm so sorry you went through that with him. Like, he had a seizure and all that. They seem to be really – didn't you feel like they were having a really nice conversation?
Well, because fucking Donna's actually kind of cool. Once you get past her obsession with her kids, she actually – I mean, we saw a photo of her and Renika hanging out at a restaurant. You know what I mean? I think fucking Donna's kind of cool. And she's getting cooler by the episodes. And I think she helped Sherry break down her walls a little bit. So I'm glad they kind of went off to the side. I was worried at first. I'm like, oh, shit. What's about to happen here? Yeah. And we got her dad with the bat.
But then we had this terrible editing because they're in the bedroom having this nice conversation. And then they go out into the den and they just had a nice conversation. And now Sherry's like, I don't know what you're thinking, Donna. My sister's too good for Louie. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Y'all just had a nice conversation.
I don't know if it's Melissa that brings out the worst in them or maybe it is. Maybe she's the older sister or maybe she's the baby. So it's rah, Melissa. Well, she does work hard. You know, she's got 2 jobs. She's got a kid. She's been independent. I get it. They don't want some loser, in quotes, to bring her down.
Yeah,
I agree. But you don't have to be fucking rude about it.
Did you notice on the side table next to Donna, there was a picture of 4 girls that I have to assume are the 3 daughters and maybe their mom.
Maybe their mom.
All like in bikinis and not a tattoo in sight.
What?
Must be a really old picture.
Well, because I'm assuming their mom is dead.
I assume so too.
There's no mention of her at all, you know, or did she know her mom? Because, you know, her dad said he was such a fucking player. Maybe he's got baby mamas across the nation. We just don't know. Yeah.
Could be.
Him and that bat.
So Donna says, Louie today is a completely different person than he was 11 years ago. And then out of the blue, Ronald, who hadn't said much with his baseball bat over there, was like, Donna, you're too attached to Louie. And if anything happens to my daughter, you know, I'm 75. I'm not scared to go to jail. And then we do this whole, like, you know, the Italian way. We don't call the cops. And then Donna and Ronald start going at each other like, well, fuck you. It's my daughter. You're too protective of your son. All this.
It was all sexual frustration. It was sexual frustration between those two.
Then the 2 of them go outside and smoke together. And I thought they were going to like bang. I was like, what's happening?
That's sexual frustration. Look, I've got 2 theories.
Okay, let's hear it.
Ronald and fucking Donna are brother and sister. Or fucking Donna is Melissa's real mom. They all look alike to me. There's a lot of resemblance between fucking Donna and Melissa's crew. Come on.
You're right. You're right.
I figure if Ronald and someone messaged me and said, what if Melissa's dad and Louie's mom get married? I said, perfect. Then she has every reason to move to New Jersey, one big Italian family. There you go.
Yeah. Well, we know she's going to move there anyway.
She needs to move. She don't need to be in that state by herself. I don't think.
So everybody starts to leave now after these 2 have hugged it out on the porch, and now they were fighting and now they're best friends. And everybody starts to leave, and Louie chats with Ronald and his bat. And he says, I just want to tell you, sir, like, I'm really going to prove myself. I'm going to work 2 to 3 jobs if I have to, you know, to support Melissa and the family. And Ronald goes, well, I'm always just a phone call away. I've seen some shit. And Louie says, all right.
We can tell.
Everybody, yeah, with that melanoma on your face. Everybody feels good.
You cannot get past that melanoma.
I can't. It is so big. He's got to get that checked out.
Send him a message. Send a message to fucking Donna and she'll make sure he gets a doctor's appointment.
She's definitely noticed it. So everybody feels good. They feel like they're all on the same page. Now, Donna goes back into this messy bedroom, which you can tell they really live there because this is a messy, it's like my bedroom.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And she goes in to talk to Louie and she starts bawling, crying. She's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. He's like, oh my God, Mom. And then she gives him a bracelet. But I was like, I thought something was coming after that, but she just gave him a bracelet that she bought at the Cracker Barrel. It's not like that big of a deal.
I mean, I thought it was sweet.
All right.
That's what I would do.
So she's like, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'll happily sell my house. I'll move back here any minute. You know, anytime you want me, I'll come back to New Jersey. And this is so hard for me to leave you. And he's like, and he either says, don't sell your house. But on the closed captioning, it said, sell your house. But I heard him say, don't sell your house. That's what I heard him say.
Regardless of what was said, she went straight back to Georgia and contacted a realtor. I need to sell my house.
Good point. Doesn't matter what was said. That's what she's doing.
No, yes.
So then Donna goes to talk to Melissa, and I thought it was very nice. She was like, I just want to tell you, it seems like it's me against you, but it's really not the case. I really am on your side. And it's, you know, and Melissa's like, it's not a choice between Mom or me. And they kind of hug. And Donna says, I want you to take care of him like I would. And Melissa says she will. And it's all very nice.
Yep.
And then Mom and Louie hug, and Donna leaves. And then they're talking to him. Melissa goes, I don't know what the fuck Donna's thinking. She's got some tricks up her sleeve.
She's
like,
I
thought she was being nice.
Someone said that her and her sisters look like the witches from, what was the movie? Jack Nicholson? The Witches of Eastwick or something like that?
Eastwick.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, they are something to see. They really are. Yeah. Melissa's just mean.
And I don't like, and again, the reason I think it's all fake, because I don't think she was ever like that. And I don't think all of a sudden she's become like a nag to be like, that wasn't worth your time when he's trying to interview for a job. I think she'd be like, good for you. You know? Okay,
but we also saw her throw a fit because the boy bought a goddamn car and started working at a pizzeria.
Well, again, I don't think any of it's real. I think they really love each other. Okay.
Keep them on the show so questions can be asked.
So I don't know. I don't know if people from this cast are people I need to interview anymore. I think I'm maybe all right. I wouldn't mind talking to
Louie. Louie's worth it. Everyone loves Louie. Everyone loves and they're rooting for Louie.
I know. I'm rooting for both of them because I think this is a fake storyline. So I'm rooting for both of them, actually. I am.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Lindsey and Blaine.
Whew. Boy.
All right. So Lindsey's hanging out with Molly Grace, and she's asking Molly Grace, do you like, being here? Do you like living with me and Blaine? And she goes, yeah, it's fine. It's no different than being at Grammy's house, whatever. It's just that you're here instead of she's here, like whatever.
Yeah.
And Lindsey goes, great. I'm glad you're getting along with Blaine and Kagan because I asked Blaine to marry me. I want to get married. He was taking too long. And I love how Molly Grace was like, if he was never going to ask you, then is it right? Like, he doesn't want to marry you, right?
I mean, that's what anyone would think. He has not asked me to marry him. Therefore, he's not ready or he doesn't want to marry me.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what you would think.
That's what I would think.
And Lindsey goes, our relationship has never been traditional or normal. So that's just how it is. It's just going to be non-traditional. And all I can see when I see Molly Grace in her bedroom, all I can see is I want them to paint that wood paneling white so bad.
They need to.
It makes it, the whole house is so dark because that wood paneling, all you got to do is paint it white.
And you would think, with Blaine being a construction worker or something like that, that maybe he's seen a house with the painted, what do they call the wood panels or whatever they're called?
All you got to do is paint it.
But maybe it's actually a rental and she can't.
Yeah. Well, then the rental people could thank you because it's just adding value. So Molly Grace goes, but Mom, if he really wanted to get married, he would have proposed. Yeah. And Lindsey says, I'm just tired of being a girlfriend. He's been there for me since day one, since I got out. And also, I've never lived alone. And I can't imagine doing this sober life alone without Blaine. And
that's
Molly
scary.
Grace, that is scary. But Molly Grace says, are you settling? And she didn't like that. She was like, no, why would you say that? And Molly Grace goes, I don't know. I feel like you could do better. I was like, wow.
I mean, she wasn't wrong.
Nothing like a teenage girl to tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth. That's right.
So then she says, they'll probably try to get this done in a month or so. And Molly Grace goes, are you pregnant? Like, why would you get married in a month? How's that going to work?
Hilarious.
Yeah. And she's like, no. She's, how's that going to work? You're going to get a dress. You're going to get it fitted. You're going to drag Blaine to make him get a tux and plan a wedding. I don't think so.
And you can't get alterations done that quickly on a wedding dress.
No, but Lindsey is probably just like a regular size 6. I mean, you know what I mean? She's probably just a regular,
that's true,
off the rack size girl. And Lindsey reminds us that she's got pending charges and she hasn't told Molly Grace about it. And she definitely, wants to get married in white and not orange and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Next morning, we see Lindsey and Blaine and they're having, my voice just cracked. Lindsey and Blaine, they're having some smooching. They're chatting. And she goes, so tomorrow you go pick up Kagan and I'll pick up Molly Grace and my mom and we'll go dress shopping. And he goes, what's she need a dress for now? What's Molly Grace need a dress for now?
It was believable when he said that. He really was like, what she need a goddamn dress? We just bought a dress.
She's like, it's for me for the wedding. And he's like, I don't know, Lindsey, why is this so quick? And she goes, we could just do it in like a month and a half. It doesn't have to be a fancy wedding. And then she goes, and look at my ring finger. It seems so empty and sad. And then she goes, I look single. You should fix it.
Well, that's what your finger looks sad and, plain. That's what happens when a man doesn't fucking propose to you.
I know, but I do get her point of like, okay, if I get her point of like female power and I should be able to like ask him and all that, but he doesn't seem to be that into it. I'll be honest.
No, he did. No, not at all.
And she goes, I don't care what the ring looks like. I don't care what it costs. You just get whatever. I don't care. And he's like, well, I don't think that's right because you're the best and you deserve the best. I don't want to get some shitty ring. It's going to turn your finger green. I want everything to be just right if we're going to get married. And she says to him, you're always about the timing and whatever, but then you just wait and things don't get done. And I'm more about action, like right now, action.
Yeah. We know, Lindsey. We know.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, we're going to be quick about getting married. We're going to be quick about having a kid too then. And she goes, how could we be quick about that? We're planning a wedding. I'm in school and I'm working night shifts. Are you going to get up all night with a baby? And he goes, well, you'll have 9 months to get ready for that. You just avoiding that conversation, I see. She's like, okay, gotta go.
Well, what about the fact that she may go back to prison? That never was, no one fit that into the equation of, no baby, because I had to see if I can get these charges off of me first.
She's not going back to prison. She's proven to be an upstanding member of society.
Yeah.
So the next scene is Lindsey goes to the OBGYN. And
this is so uncalled for.
Well, I was glad I watched it the second time because I was like, is she saying she's had this IUD in for 7 years? But no, she's got a brand new IUD that she's only had in for 2 weeks. Yeah. But she's still bleeding, so she wants to make sure everything's okay. Yeah. Last time she had a Mirena, whatever that is the brand of the IUD, she had it in for 7 years instead of 5. She explained, when you're in prison, they don't give you any good health care. And you see people die in prison all the time. We know that from what's her name and the deaf girl and what's her name? I've already forgotten her name.
Mikey and Chelsea.
Chelsea. Oh, thank you, Keisha.
Well, you need to thank somebody else because I don't know how that came out my mouth. Because
I could see their faces. I just couldn't.
Yeah, the names.
Couldn't come up with their names. But she's like, we know that happens. Like they will.
Right.
You don't get good health care there. And so she says, when you have a baby in prison, the baby comes out with a inmate number. I didn't know that.
That's awful.
That
is awful. Like on the newborn pictures that the baby takes, you have their little inmate number right next to the big hair bow in pink.
So bad. Oh my God. So they check the IUD strings and they talk about that. And Lindsey tells us about what happens to a baby born in a Mississippi prison. And then she and the doctor just joke around a lot about Blaine feeling the IUD and being poked like a porcupine. And would he feel it? And then she says it's her body. It's not up for negotiation. And what he doesn't know won't hurt him. And she can get an IUD if she wants to. And then doctor says her IUD is fine and she's good.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything that she said. I just didn't need to go to the gynecology appointment with her to, and hear the poking and
can he feel it?
Yeah,
I joking about him being in there and feeling it. I was like, all right,
that's a bit much for me.
It's a little much. All right, now let's go to the final couple, which was quite a doozy of a showdown between Tayler and Chance.
Yeah.
So these two are working on one of these epoxy tables, and I was really trying to study that. I was like, I guess they pour something and then they fire it so it goes flat. I don't know. It's very interesting.
I wouldn't take notes from those two on how to do it.
True. That's a great point. Yeah. And you notice they have all these portable air conditioners set up?
Yes.
And I was like, that's their ventilation system? I mean,
probably so.
It's not good.
Look who it is.
They're talking about Bobo and he goes, yeah, everything's fine now. I borrowed $1,000 from Zach and I'm going to work it off at Zach's place. And I'm really sorry about all that. And, she goes, I really appreciate you saying that you're sorry. And he goes,
God.
I want to be more romantic with you. I got a surprise for you. So they go outside and she's in her clothes that she was doing the epoxy table in.
Looking like a minion, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the black overalls. Yeah. It's a limo from 1982 that definitely
72. I say 72. I'm gonna go with 72, and unless you could give me like the vehicle registration, I'm staying with 72. It looks pretty damn old.
It is so old. And they hear like, as they're driving, they hear like a thunk. And she goes, oh my God, did a tire fall off? He's like, baby. He's like, baby, this limo, this is a good investment. This makes $7,500 a week. This is like an investment opportunity. And she goes, you know what? Why don't we just focus on like what we've got going on now? And he goes, like what? And she goes, like our family and our kids and our business. Like, let's worry about investing in a limo later. Let's worry about it later. He's like, okay, it's just a great investment. It's just a great investment. I was like, Tayler is no genius, but even she can get in this 1972 limo and be like, this is not a good investment. Now, come on.
Yes. Can you imagine how it smells in there?
Oh, they're in there with your bare feet?
Oh. No, thank you.
Gross. It's not going to make you want to buy that if you see people put their bare feet in there.
Not at all.
So these two lovebirds, they go to a restaurant called Chuck-a-Burger, and they've always wanted to go to Chuck-a-Burger. And they sit in the trunk and have a romantic conversation right by the highway.
Well, hold on. We had a very romantic moment there.
Okay.
We cannot continue without talking about it. Okay. How romantic and sweet was it when he called her the onion ring queen?
Yes. He goes, you want onion rings, right? Because you the onion ring queen. I was like, I do love an onion ring myself.
Me too. Look, that could have been a term of endearment for me because I love a good onion ring. So yeah.
I do too, actually. I got to be honest. Yeah. So they're sitting in the trunk, and then she says, listen, I'm sorry about that whole thing with Bobo. I'm glad we could spend this time together. And I am sorry that like something from my past could harm the family. I'm going to do my best legally. And then after he says the word legally, the lady walks up with the food. And I was like, you going to do your best legally what? Legally what?
Because he was like, perfect timing, waitress.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Did you notice back at the house when he was trying to talk about the whole Bobo situation? He told her, well, Bobo was just really upset because I didn't keep in touch with him. Yeah. Because they used to be prison lovers. I'm telling you. Bobo's going to come out with the truth.
And,
I just have a feeling.
Somebody pointed out that in that scene between Chance and Bobo fighting about how it was like hat on, hat off, hat forward, hat backwards, have a beer in your hand, don't have a beer in your hand, like all the editing of, and I noticed that this week when they were showing flashbacks of it. Yeah. So she goes, Chance, I want to make it clear that this is your chance to fix this and make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay. And he goes, yeah, baby, I know. And she's like, I love Chance and I see his potential, but I've given Chance a lot of chances and one day it will be his last chance. Girl.
No, it won't be. And you know what? You cannot convince me that Tayler and Chance don't smell like cat piss. Because that's all I can think about when they were sitting back there in the fucking trunk having a romantic dinner. I'm like, they look like they smell like cat piss. Wow. I'm willing to bet they do. They just have that look about them. They
That's
got that
real
look
specific.
about them.
It's real specific.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
My God. So this is exciting. We haven't gotten this lately. We get a black screen of death. Very exciting. I love a black screen of death. And it says,
we live for these moments.
12 hours earlier, Tayler texted production saying she had kicked Chance out of their home. A crew flew out immediately.
Okay. You and I would have been on that crew who flew out immediately because we want to see this.
Maybe it'd be faster to drive.
Probably so.
So Taylor's feeding the baby. She's talking to the producer. And you just see all the unfinished, you see the unfinished projects outside. You see the unfinished, there's so many unfinished projects in this house.
The children even look unfinished in that house. They just, nothing's finished. Like, geez, comb her hair.
Oh my God. We haven't seen the little ones in a while. Thank goodness. They've been shielded. So she's holding the baby. She's talking to the producer and she was like, yeah, so Chance, he worked all day yesterday. And then when he got home, the first thing he wanted to do was go through my phone. So I said, okay, fine. Let me go through your phone. She tells us there's always been signs that he's cheating. and they don't have sex very often. And she's not naive because he's given her all the red flags. I mean, including just flat out, she saw all the pictures he sent, of his junk and stuff to that girl last year. And so she continues to talk to the producer, and she was like, there was some weird message on his phone, and it was just like a question mark. So then I went and looked and found all these deleted messages, and then he got all mad at
deleted. There's a deleted from the title.
Right.
There.
Deleted, but not forgotten. Yeah. There you go. You're right.
There you go.
And so I saw these deleted messages, and then he got all mad and defensive. And so then I went on his call log, and I saw 171 messages in one day with this unknown number.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to talk to anybody that much in one day.
How do you go?
What are you talking about?
Do you go to your Verizon.com?
Yeah.
And that's how you find it?
Yeah, because whenever producer James used that real crazy long time ago, I did that.
Uh-huh. Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, yeah.
And what'd you find? Nothing?
Yes, I did. Producer James used to be bad.
All right. Well, nobody.
I won't tell all his business today.
Don't tell his business today. Nobody's more obsessed with his wife than producer James. He's gone the other direction.
The total opposite direction. Yes.
So now we see the production has gone to Chance's work site, and he's cleaning up something, and he goes, "This is all bullshit and hogwash." He literally says hogwash.
Hogwash. Yeah.
He says,
"What the fuck does he have on?"
The world's largest pair of shorts. I don't know. What?
Yes.
What is this outfit he's wearing?
I don't know. Building his empire.
He says, I'm just trying to work and be happy and pay my bills and build my empire and have peace and solitude and tranquility at home. And I don't have that. Look, here's the thing. I was texting with somebody that I thought was Tayler because she tries to entrap me by texting as other girls. She creates fake accounts and she tries to catch me at cheating. She's trying to find a reason to break up, and I just fed into it. And you know what? Tayler, she's like the cops. She's constantly pulling up and trying to shake me down, building a case on me. I'm done with that prosecuting ass, cop ass Tayler. What are you talking about? Constantly trying to pull up on me and build a case on me.
That's pretty fucking funny, though. That's pretty funny. I like that.
Also,
funny.
She's got 4 children. She does not have time
to do all. No. She a full-time job, raising the kids. She trying to clean up that house. She has no time for all of this other bullshit. There's no way.
Trying to make epoxy tables and be an office manager during the day, and worry about Bobby. She's got to worry about Bobby.
That's true. And Bobo swinging by our house at any given point in time.
So she
tells worries.
So the production is talking to her, and she goes, "No, I did not make fake profiles and try to catfish him. I would not do that. Oh my God." So meanwhile, she's changing the baby's diaper, and he's just so cute, just flinging those little baby legs around on the bed. Oh, he's so
a cute baby. Like, I believe that baby is related to Brad Pitt. Not Chance, but the baby, most definitely. He's cute.
So she's talking to the producer, and she goes, I told him, if it's not a big deal, just show me the messages in your phone. And if I can't ask questions, what's the point of even being together? Yeah. And so, I told him, I was like, just give me your phone. And I said, just give me your phone. And then we see him going, and then she says to me, give me your phone, all venomous like. And I told her, it's in the bathroom. And then we see her telling the producer, yeah, and look at this. He threw it in the toilet. I haven't even it would take, I don't know what it would take for me to throw my phone in the toilet. And then they keep showing the toilet with the flies flying around, Keisha.
That was bad. Maybe a dirty diaper was in there. Maybe Chance left a shirt in there. It was just, but that house looks like it smells like cat piss and has flies in it. There you go.
Oh my God.
That was bad.
I was like, bleh, bleh. So then she pulls it out and throws it in the trash. And thank God she's able to wash, her hand with the baby.
Right.
And she goes, so then I called the number, and what I found out was something I would never suspected. And here are the texts. Okay. So by the way, I paused, zoomed out, zoomed in, repaused, went forward, doing that slow thing instead of the fast forwarding to make sure I got all of this, because they were zooming in and out. You couldn't see it all. But I got it all.
That is why you are Mary Payne Gilbert.
That's why I'm Mary Payne Gilbert. So the guy says, who is this Tayler who? Tayler, you've been texting Chance for the past couple of days. I'm trying to find out who you are. The guy says, LOL, how did you get my number and what about? Tayler says, he's my baby daddy / fiance and he deleted all the messages and shit, so I'm just trying to see why. The guy says, oh, LOL, have you not asked him? Tayler says, wow, y'all must have been having a pretty bad conversation seeing that he put his phone in the toilet instead of showing me the messages. At this point, you can have him. Thumbs up emoji. And the guy says, damn, he put his phone in the toilet? That's wild as fuck. And baby, you know you're not going to leave him. 3 laughing, crying face emojis.
Oh,
okay.
Man. You know,
yeah.
I said last week that I thought there was something between Bobo and Chance. And here's just the reality of it. Chance is for everybody. Chance is for the streets. In 2 weeks, we'll find out he's been fucking a tree stump. Like, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like Andy Cohen has said about Jax Taylor. To him, a hole is a hole. He doesn't really care. A hole is a hole. It doesn't matter what kind of hole it is.
Yeah.
So, so then Tayler tells us, she goes, I tried to call that number, and you know what? It's a guy, not a girl. And this guy that Chance is texting with is the hoe of our small town. Like, you know who the hoes are in your small town. And yeah, so I feel like he's cheating on me with a guy. And yeah, like, it really opened my eyes because not only have I had to worry about having flirty and friends with girls, but now I have to worry about guys too. And so I'm at this point where I don't have to worry about anybody anymore. And like, fuck Chance for real, okay? He can go be with a gay guy or a girlfriend or whatever.
Or a gremlin or goblin.
Whatever.
Who knows with Chance?
Oh my God. So now we see more text. Now we see more texts. And it's Tayler says, yeah, but Chance just starts arguing with me and maybe you can shed some light. And the guy says, why are you still with him then? And Tayler says, because he's my baby daddy, unless you have a reason I shouldn't be. And the guy says, LOL, if you blocked my number, why are you worried about it? And Tayler writes, I didn't block your number. He probably did, so you couldn't get a hold of him while he's at home. So I think that on that phone that he threw in the toilet, that number was blocked. And she went in the call log and found all the messages, but that number was blocked. So she says, he probably did. So you couldn't get a hold of him while he's at home. And the guy says, well, if he deleted all the messages and shit, how'd you get my number? Well, he doesn't know what he's dealing with. She's a go on that laptop ninja and figure some shit out.
Clearly she is.
She and Lindsey could start a business.
They could.
So she says, you know, finding out Chance was also into men. I just wouldn't have expected that. So her phone rings and she looks at the producer and goes, should I answer it? Oh God. Oh. And she's like, hello. And he goes, hey, why you sound so irritated and shit? What's wrong with you? It's like, wait, what?
Because just found out you have a fucking boyfriend too.
And she goes, how could I not be irritated? You literally threw your phone in the toilet. And he goes, yeah, I'm just tired of your shit, man. And she goes, okay, so yeah, I'm tired of your shit, man. So why are you calling me except for, hey, where's my laptop? And he goes, no shit, Sherlock. That's why I'm calling you. These two are
so immature.
And the brain cells is just so.
Lack thereof brain cells is the problem.
Then she tells us what happened. Last night, Chance started an argument with me and then he sped off. I guess this is when he threw the phone in the toilet. And she didn't hear from him till 6 a.m. But then he broke into the house and took most of his clothes. But then she does again. He accidentally took my laptop with him, which is complete bullshit because he did that for a reason, just to come back home to talk to me. So
yeah, and she should have also called the police on his ass when he broke into her house.
Right. So
that's a good way to get rid of him.
And stole her laptop.
Stole. Yep.
Yeah. So he says, yeah, I'm coming out there today to get the rest of my shit today. And she goes, okay, well, great. Tell me a time so I can make sure. And he goes, oh, wait, make sure what? Your boyfriend ain't there?
And she goes, so dumb.
And she goes, no, I want to make sure the kids aren't here in case you're rude.
And they're talking in case I kick your fucking ass.
In case you're rude. Rude is the least of your worries.
Right?
She says, me and Chance have fought in front of the kids before, and I don't love it. So I'm going to call my dad to come and watch the kids. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah. Oh, Tayler. She needs a little bit of Lindsey in her life.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Yep.
So she goes, he goes, oh, okay, I'm the only one that's rude. Okay, I'm the only one that's rude. Listen, and by the way, I downloaded all that information off your laptop. And she goes, okay. And he goes, and you're dirty. And she goes, uh-huh.
Fuck. He's just, there's nothing dirty on that girl's laptop. Other than the shit he was looking up.
Exactly. And he goes, yeah, I finally realized you're not who you said you were. And she goes, okay, you're definitely not. So, and he goes, yeah, I'm really upset about it too. Because, I put a lot of hard work and sweat into your fucking house and all your shit. And I don't got nothing to show for it but a truck with a bunch of miles on it. And, it's not like I've got a bunch of friends I could crash with if I needed to, but I've already got a place. And she goes, and she goes, oh, it's your boyfriend's? And he goes, I don't have a boyfriend, honey. And she goes, yeah, okay, honey. And then he says, I hope you catch something. Now, when he says, I have nothing to show for it, I put a lot of work and sweat into your house, and I got nothing to show for it, you do have a whole entire human, a baby.
Yeah, you've got a baby.
Completely forgot about the baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not surprising. Nope. Not surprising.
So that's the end of them. We did not get 4 couples this week. We didn't get Brittany, Joy, Eris, or Scott and Sarah, which there's nothing there. I don't know why we have to see them anyway.
And this was a much more enjoyable episode because we didn't have any of those people on it.
You're right.
I didn't miss Joy crying. I didn't miss Sean breathing. I didn't miss Cam's antics. And who was the other couple?
Brittany and Key Rock.
No. Nothing was missed there either.
Didn't miss that rapping.
No.
So next week on Life After Lockup, Melissa says she's been hiding something. It's her nose job that she's getting, yeah. And then Justine says to Mike, we have nowhere to go, nowhere to have the baby. And he goes, I don't know. I don't know. And she goes, well, you do enough to lie. Mm-hmm. So, okay. And then Chance says something. Now, I thought he said the baby. I wrote the word something because literally I don't know what he said. And then I turned the closed captions on and they don't do closed captions for the previews. But Chance says something, some word, something made me start to hate you, which I really think he says. I think he says the baby made me start to hate you.
You hated her before then. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. And then we see her mom or somebody, her stepmom maybe, someone sitting there saying, you need to get a restraining order. We see him coming into the house and we see more incomplete projects outside, just shutters hanging off. And whoever was the person, the stepmom or whatever, goes, go get the bat. And then Chance like, is there some dude in there? Is there some dude in there? And he's trying to push his way in.
Fucking moron.
Then we see Blaine say, you sit here and act like I don't do a motherfucking thing. And Lindsey says, you don't. And he slaps all the food off the stove. And she says, get the fuck out of my house, which I would say too if I just made some dinner and somebody knocked it on the floor.
I'd tell you to get the fuck out for looking at the dinner wrong.
So that's what happens. And like I told you, I think I told you last week when Blaine posted over the holidays that picture of he and Kagan for Christmas when he got in all that trouble for all that stuff in the background, that I was like, this is definitely not their house. Because first of all, the walls were white. And it looked like a very small apartment.
Yeah, I think
so. I was
right.
like,
They're
he's not together.
Yeah.
That's too bad because you want to people that have really supported each other and gotten sober together and have the same goals and everything. You really want those people to stay together and do good in the world.
But Lindsey is crazy.
Well, okay,
she's smart, but she's I don't think I think she would be hard to be in a relationship with. Hell, she even said it.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, somebody posted somewhere this week, I think it might have been on a Reddit thread I saw. It was like, Lindsey is such a beautiful girl. Like she is so drop dead gorgeous that you can kind of see how she can manipulate people with her.
She's been doing it all her life. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's so smart. When I interviewed her, I told her, we think you're the smartest person ever to be on this show.
She's smarter than some of the producers or whoever does the numbering for the fucking show. She's smarter than that person too.
Oh Oh my God. When I talked to Meredith this weekend over on Hey Bunky, she was saying something about Life After Lockup. She goes, I used to watch that show. I used to love it. Have they got the numbering correctly on that show yet? I was like,
that's a damn shame. Nope. Not at all. They don't even try.
No. You know who it was? It wasn't Meredith. It was Kim. Kim from Reality Cray Cray, 90 Day Fiance Cray Cray. She and I were talking, and she was like, I miss, they used to cover Life After Lockup. She was like, I kind of miss covering it. Did they ever get the numbering correctly? I was like, no. But you know, Keisha, when we get the screeners, it's numbered correctly. Like it'll say, I don't think
I've ever noticed.
Yeah, on the screener. So this says Life After Lockup Season 5, Episode 18, which was what's on the TV. But the screener will say Life After Lockup, like Season 4, if this is the fourth season of like Episode 3. Like it'll say it correctly.
I never paid attention.
Why they roll it like that on the DVR or wherever else when you're trying to look for it, or even on the WeTV app, it's wrong.
It's crazy.
But I've questioned it and I've never been given an answer.
They don't pay that person well at all.
No, that's an intern.
Nope.
That's an intern.
Yes.
All right, what is happening over on the Libra Lounge with Keisha?
All new episode is dropping this Tuesday. Lots to talk about, lots of stuff that's been going on. You know, the Little Mermaid had a baby. Finally, she announced it. Also,
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. What Little Mermaid had a baby?
The Little Mermaid, Halle Bailey from the Little Mermaid.
The girl that played her in the live action movie. Okay. All right.
She had a baby.
Was there concern that she was pregnant?
Yeah, you know my nosy ass can sniff out a pregnancy. Yeah, she finally tells us she had a baby. I'm like, bitch, we already knew, but okay, show us the baby. Also, we're going to be talking about something that was in People magazine. There's this lady whose sister is getting married, and the lady suffers from hair loss since she was like 10, and her sister requested for her to wear a wig to her wedding to be in it.
As the bridesmaid, she said, as a bridesmaid, you have to wear a wig.
Yeah.
That's really rude.
Especially to your own sister.
That's really rude. Just let her be herself.
Yeah. And we're going to get some 1,000-pound sister updates. We're going to talk about Cat Williams and his antics and all that good stuff. Yeah.
I saw that Cat Williams thing. I was like,
pretty funny.
He just called Steve Harvey Mr. Potato Head. I can't.
Yeah. And he was right. Yeah. You can't unsee it. You can't. You cannot unsee it. Like,
he was like, boom with his country ass. I was like, oh no,
that's fucking hilarious. I'm like, get him, Cat, get him.
That is funny. Mr. Potato Head. Well, everybody, this week we've got, of course, today's Monday. We've got Life After Lockup with Keisha. Tomorrow I'm back. I haven't talked to Kimberly in 3 weeks. 90 Day Fiance, because 90 Day Fiance has been off because it just like New Year's and Christmas, everything was always falling right on when it would air. So they actually gave us a break. So I'm going to be talking to Kimberly Tuesday for 90 Day Fiance. Wednesday, I just realized something I put out on the schedule is wrong. I think I said Wednesday you and I will be putting out the episode about Prison Brides, but that won't work because the episode airs on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So that was dumb. So Thursday, our episode will be out regarding you and I on Prison Brides. That's the $10 level at Pink Shade Prime. And then Friday, I've got my new weekend co-host. Her name is Meredith Constant. People seem to really like it. People are sad that Amy is not going to be doing it anymore, but people are seeming to really like Meredith. So check that out as well. And
hey, Meredith.
Hey, Meredith's great. And we're covering Smothered and The Single Life, 90 Day of the Single Life. And Meredith loves Smothered. I was like, well, thank God somebody does, because this is the stupidest show.
This season is awful. I
can't.
It's just, I can hardly even watch it. It's so bad. It's really bad. Like the other seasons, yeah, I loved it. It was funny. This is, I don't even know.
The pageant mom and going to the flamingos, everything was so stupid. Stupid.
It was bad.
And that Mary and Brittany, I mean, one of them is going to kill the other in their sleep. It's not going to end up well. It's not going to end up.
No.
It's going to end up on Dateline.
It's bad. Can't wait.
That's what we're covering over there. It's going to end up bad. Can't wait. All right, Keisha. Well, I will talk to you later this week about Prison Brides. And until then, everybody follow the Libra Lounge with Keisha on Instagram. And she also has a big Facebook group. And then also follow us on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Add podcast, not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.